Hello everybody, my name is Deku and welcome back to MILGRAM. Last time we left off, we had just watched Haruka's second voice drama and Haruka's second music video, and I really enjoyed them. Also, I want to quickly start by saying a few different things. One, I want to make very aware, this is not because this has been a problem or anything, I just saw it a few times in the comments, and I want to make it very clear. I want to set my boundaries extremely clearly and not, beat around the bush or allow it to persist without saying anything. These videos are my own interpretation. These videos are what I am thinking of these characters as they are presented to me with the knowledge I only have going into them. If you have a problem with these interpretations of these characters, that is not on me. If you wish to continue watching them, even if we disagree, by all means, continue watching. Engaging in discourse and debate and trying to have a conversation about why you believe one prisoner is guilty or innocent, is completely valid. It fosters discussion. That's what this entire series is about. I mean, hell, I ask hard-hitting questions in this series, especially, with leftist politics and the like, of engaging with this media and this story from a critical lens. And if you don't, you can move on. You can go. I am not forcing you to be here. This is not MILGRAM. I am not going to punish you. I am not going to kidnap you and keep you in a tower. At the same time, if you do not like my vibe, if you do not like the way that I say certain things, by all means, you can continue going on as well. I say all of this to say that this channel is my space. It is also a space that I am willingly letting other people into because I know that some people need that space. Some people need to hear the things that I am saying, but not have it be in a preachy way or have it be in a way of where it is only about that, but also being in a digestible form of having to be through reactions and the like and doing all this other stuff. That's why the channels are separated. That's why this channel is doing reactions and fun stuff and the stuff that I do, but I am not afraid to bring up politics and the like, while there's other channels that do have the politics straight up that are my channels, right? So that is what I just wanted to make clear, right? If you get mad at me, either keep it to yourself or I guess be more polite about it or whatever, because I mean, if I get hate comments, I'll just delete them, or I'll engage with them and just make fun of them, right? Unless, it is trying to be respectful and trying to actually foster discussion and the like, whether it is with MILGRAM or just in general, right? I mean, I've been very clear about that. Those are my boundaries, right? I mean, like, I love the support you guys show me on these videos. I absolutely adore it. I love seeing people being like, oh my god, I love your videos, like, I love your when you do stuff. Like, I mean, I've even gotten videos being like, oh my god, I love you, and I was like, you know what, sure, yeah, awesome. But I also want to make sure that, there is a clear separation and the like, right? Just so, like, parasocial stuff doesn't happen and all this other stuff, because, as I've said, I do not view you guys as numbers. I view you guys as as members of the community, as members of the crew, right? The grand fleet, right? Because the whole pirate aesthetic and everything. But there is obviously the blatant truth of not being friends, not knowing each other, and it is still a situation of I create content, you like that content, and it's supporting of each other and the like. Anyway, I've been yapping for fucking far too long. Let's keep going. We're going to be doing Yuno's second voice drama, negative 273.15 degrees Celsius, or absolute zero. And then we're going to be doing Teardrop. I'm really hoping to find out more about Yuno. very, very, very much looking forward to it. Oh, and also we're going to be doing the second trial interrogation questions all in one video. So, let's get started. Dude. She looks so good.
見た感じ変わりないようだな。
別に変わんないよ。ああ、そっか。はるかはすごい変わりようだったからね。いやー、女で変わるな、男。
ひとまず安心だ。
Right, that was the other thing. I want to correct something that I got in the last trial, or in the last video, is I still don't know what Haruka's whole situation is. I don't know what the mental illness and debilitation, only that I know that he now views himself as a child. Also, I made this announcement in the community post. Don't fucking spoil. Don't be a bitch and spoil shit down the comments because I don't get information right. Like, to the people that are like, oh, I'm not trying to spoil, and and you're just trying to like give me maybe some nudges. That's okay. I mean, I'll just not read those. But to the people that are just straight up posting spoilers, being like, actually, you're wrong. This is what's happening. Shut the fuck up, please. Just for the love of fucking everything, shut the fuck up. And like I know that I will get information wrong, and maybe I'll forget things, like how Haruka is actually 17, or he says that he believes he's 17, and the like, and all this other stuff. But that is something that I can rectify in the next video, or if I remember in the moment, and the like. I do remember Yuno is 19, I'm pretty sure.
Yuno?
めんどくさいからパス。
は？
さっさと歌でもなんでも抽出しちゃってよ。それでさ、あることないこと勝手に想像して勝手に決めちゃえば。
ずいぶん非協力的な態度だな。
まあね。なんかあんまり興味なくなっちゃったんだよね。
興味があろうとなかろうと、僕は自分の仕事をするだけだけどな。
仕事。
Yeah, but do you get paid? S, do you need a union? Do you need a workers' representation council to be properly compensated for your labor and your time? We must kill all jackalopes. And by jackalopes I mean the bourgeoisie.
立派な仕事で招いたこのカオスな状況。楽しい？
何が言いたい？
監視さん的には満足？許すだの許さないだのやって。今監獄の中こんなだけど。
囚人同士の争いのことか。
そう。監視さんが許したことこさんが大暴れで怪我人続出の巻。
真昼に増えたか。それは僕としても予想外の出来事だった。
へえ？私からしたらことこさんなんて絶対友達にしたくないけどな。最初から結論決まってて話にならないタイプじゃん。
That is very true, because the one thing that Yuno and a lot of her stuff is very good at is whenever she's talking about other prisoners, she's very blunt about it, and she's very very observant. There you go. Observant. Sorry, I was having a fucking Squirtle moment. Shout out to all my Unosaurus fans. But yeah, observant. Fuck! Observant. And, she speaks very truthfully, and it really cuts to the heart of things.
でも特に真昼さんはやばいね。肉体も精神も限界かな。あとみことさんも襲われたんだけどね。引き分けって感じだったみたい。あの人強かったんだね。意外。あとはるかとムーちゃんもめんどくさい感じになってるし。
Hello?
あとあまねちゃんと指導さんもか。
あまねと指導。
まあはるかとむーちゃんの真逆って感じだけど。
I'm recording this with a severe thunderstorm warning.
相当なもんだからご自分で確認どうぞ。
Hold on. I'm gonna right now I'm gonna fucking make a message. I'm gonna put a community post out. There you go. And yes, I am keeping all of that in. I am not cutting it out because oh, that's going to be really funny.
それも第一審の結果による影響か。
まあ何が言いたいかと言いますと、くそめんどくさいんだけど。私最初に言ったよね。法律以外で人が人を罰するなんてキリがないって。だからミルグラム自体には興味がないって。
はあ、覚えている。お前は僕の審判のことを気にせず、ありのままでいると言っていたな。
おお、そうそう。覚えててくれて嬉しい。でもね、私別に嫌いじゃなかったんだ。ミルグラム。変な人たちばかりだけど、日常生活よりはあったかかったし。
楽しんでいるようには見えたな。
楽しかったね。人殺しなのかもしれないけど、面白い人だ。
Yeah, absolute zero. Absolute zero. Well, also her disposition, absolute zero. Very cold disposition. But also in the way of her interest. She has absolutely zero interest. In MILGRAM.
足りない人たち同士って。
それが僕のせいで変わってしまったと。
そう。この状況のめんどくささが楽しく勝ちました。なのでとても冷めてます。
Cooled off. Right? Cooled off.
満足なのこの状況。
お前たちは人殺しだ。お前たちの罪を明らかにするためには必要な仕事だ。ミルグラムはお前たちの本質と真実を明らかに。
それ必死で自分に言い聞かせてないと持たないわけ。真実を明らかにしたいねえ。
ああ、当然だ。ミルグラムの監視として正しく罪を判断するためにいっ
ぱいパパ活した結果の堕胎。多分それが私の人殺し。さあ、どうぞ真実を召し上がれ。
Holy shit. Hold on, what? The result of doing lots of sugar daddying, abortion. I see. I see. So she was fucking a lot. Okay. So was that what it is? Or she was getting money and she was fucking a lot? And because she had multiple sugar daddies and everything like that, led to her getting pregnant more than a few times, either because of the fact that none of them wanted to wear a condom and led to her having an abortion. I mean, if that's the case, then okay. What the fuck's the point, right? I mean, like, personally, if you're trying to be like, are you guilty or not guilty because it's just abortion? No. No. What, are you gonna, like, are you gonna put someone to death because they, like, miscarry? Or are you gonna put someone to death because they have their period and pass eggs that aren't fertilized, right? Because of the potential of life or whatever? Like, like everything with abortion and everything like that. I mean, my clear stance is this: no matter what you think of it, the life of somebody who is alive comes before the life of something that is not, like isn't existing yet. But like with Yuno, right? I mean, I wouldn't gauge her guilty because she had a bunch of abortions, right? Like, oh, you got pregnant like 3 or 4 times and then, had like 4 abortions or whatever. Okay, fucking whatever, right? And that just means you're irresponsible. You're shit at, not wearing a condom instead of, using money to get an abortion and everything like that, right? It's much simpler just to, take plan B, or I don't know, get snipped one time or have them twisted, tubes tied rather, so that you can at least have the potential of, having children in the future if that's what you wanted or something like that. Or fucking have a guy have a vasectomy, right? Like, come on. Just because you're poor and battered don't mean you always gotta have it turn into pancakes, if you get my drift. Also, I'm very glad that it's not the idea that she had children and left the children in, like, lockers or whatever after that, like, Japanese, like, urban legend or whatever. Myth, old wives' tale, I don't know, something like that. And it is just straight up abortion, from what she is saying, at least. Post-birth abortion. But that is a possibility. But, yeah, it's just... No. Does she deserve to be punished for that? No. Does she deserve to be punished for who she is? Maybe. Time will tell. Because that's another thing, is like, are you now judging them as people, or are you judging them for their murder alone? Because, like, if you think about it, right? What is Amine's, Amine's murder or something like that was said to be that she was trying to help something, but the cult didn't allow it. If that's the murder, then technically she's innocent. But given who she is, that child is guilty as fuck. Which is what I'm doing for both, right? I'm gauging them as people and seeing if they deserve innocent or guilty verdicts, but also on their crime alone. Because you cannot just view the crime alone as a vacuum. You also have to take in who they are as a person as well. Because here's the thing with, like, justice systems. Are you judging the crime, or are you judging the person? Or are you doing both? I'm doing both right now.
Yuno, お前。
あんま驚かないね。やっぱり歌の抽出で分かってたんだ。
まあな。可能性の一つとして高いとは思っていた。ミルグラムの人殺しの解釈の範囲からするとあり得ると。
だろうね。まあそういう感じ。
What, is somebody jacking off? Like, and, throwing away the tissue, is that murder? You should lock up all the sugar daddies too, since they took part in it. And that's another thing, is that purely punishing the woman, or, the AFAB person, for getting the abortion, when it is not only one person that, takes part in forming of a fertilized egg, is fucking ridiculous, dude. That is some demented shit.
聞こえるんだよ。ミルグラムにいると。多分私以外のみんなも一緒だと思う。私の罪に対して覗いて探って何かを話し合う声が。
そんなことが。
あれは監視さんの思ってることとかじゃないの？知らないけど。わ
からん。ミルグラムにそんな効果があるとは聞いていない。確かに僕はその事実を考察した上でお前を許すと判断した。暫定的ではある
が。では私のサメポイント2つ目を発表します。イエーイ。ノリ悪いな。
お前という人間がよくわからなくなってきた。
深刻になられすぎてもだるいしね。
わかった、続けろ。
サメポイント2つ目は簡単に言うと許されたこと。
なんだと。
まあ正確には許された。
So she was forgiven and it proved to her that everything was fine and that she would be fine overall.
たこと自体じゃないんだけど。
よくわからんな。はっきり言え。
じゃあ私の頭の中に聞こえていた声を教えてあげよっか。かわいそうだから。何か理由があるに違いないから。過去に辛い経験をしたからこうなって。
Does she mean literally, like she has voices in her head, like a mental illness, like almost like a schizotypical disorder, or, you know, BPD? Someone made a joke. Someone made a joke. And no, I do not want it to be like a running gag or anything like that. Maybe for just this series, it'd be funny because it is, you know, topical, but I don't want to become too niche with like only speaking on a certain subject matter. I like to be as broad as possible while also being extremely niche. But someone made a joke of being like, wow, we have one DID representation with Makoto, but they also said that they headcanon that maybe Amane was too, just to increase the quota. And I was like, you know what? Now that I see this, voices in your head, fuck it. You know what? They all have it. Why not? You know what? Why the fuck not? This is the series for all. This is your representation, people with DID. Here you go. This is your series. You know, like, gays had Voltron. Trans people had fucking have Fallout. You people with DID, you have MILGRAM.
家庭環境に問題があるからこうなってるんだ。まだ愛を知らないから。
You know, there is also another thing of having voice in your head, and it's just called anxiety.
だから許す。
Or is she literally talking about that she can hear the comments, like the fourth wall?
そういう類推に至ったのは事実だ。
はいはい。まああくまでね。個人的な意見になりますけども、私はその思い込み説教臭くて気持ちが悪い。くだらないよ。勝手にかわいそうだと決めつけて、勝手に過去を作って、自分の理想の私像を作って、納得する私を作って。
That is true, because are you taking them as they are, or are you manufacturing a version of themselves because you like them?
実際いるんだよね、そういう人。
I think Haruka fans really need to hear that one.
そういう人に限って、私に何にもしてくれない。
I think all of the MILGRAM fans need to hear that one for all of their favorite characters. Not everyone, but those fans. You know the ones I'm talking about. I have gotten particular comments on my videos, which all of you can see too, because I do not have filters on my comments. If you say some dumb shit, like, everyone will be able to see it. If everyone sees it, and you'll get clowned on. I think the only thing that it gets like flagged is like our slurs. But yeah, I used to go through individually one by one and accepting comments, but
ユノ。
私はかわいそうじゃない。家族もとっても仲良しだし、お金にも別に困ってない。自分にとってそれが必要だと思って自分の意思でそうしたまでだよ。
では、お前は何を求めてその援助交際を。
何言いよどんでんの？ピュアだね。
黙れ。僕は人
黙れ
の行為の善悪を問うつもりはないが、倫理的に問題のある行為なのは間
Your
違いない。
numerous acts.
だろ。
倫理と
I don't have much interest in things like ethics and morals, doesn't it? Doesn't it not fill your stomach? This is a punch. He literally says, doesn't your stomach not inflate? Using a phrase that references a term like fool such stuff. She's joking that ethics such morals aren't emotionally feeling well, also referencing pregnancy/balloons. Fucking dirty girl. Oh my god. Yeah, well, it doesn't stuff you, know, does it? I think that would be a better way to translate that. It was like, well, morals and ethics doesn't get you stuffed, now does it?
か道徳とかあんまり興味ないんだよね。お腹膨れなくない？
だいぶ危険な思想に聞こえるが。
いや、それはマジで。私思うんだよね。倫理や道徳を守らなきゃって窮屈で不幸になってる人っていっぱいいてさ、もっと気楽に生きればいいのにって。
程度によるとは思うが。
Excuse me.
そうそう、もちろん犯罪は基本的に良くないとは思うんだけども、誰も不幸にしない不道徳な行為ってあるじゃん。それこそパパ活だって倫理的に良くないとされているからそりゃ隠してたけど。
I mean, yeah, as long as you're not hurting anybody, and as long as you aren't, like, there's a little bit of a nuanced area there, right? Ethically and morally, if you're doing something and it's consensual and you're not hurting anybody else and not causing immediate harm or engaging with harmful acts that can endanger other people and the like, or spread certain like ideas to other people that can then be harmful, right? Because the very idea of, oh, well, as long as you aren't hurting everyone else, it can kind of get a little too individualistic, right? It puts only effort onto the individual rather than putting them on the spot and allowing them to actually properly think about what their actions do, and the actions have consequences just because it doesn't affect other people, right? I think that you have to have nuance, that even if you are doing something by yourself, you have to be aware that there is a possibility that it could be harmful in some other way, right? Like, that's one of those things of, like, where people will be like, oh, well, what's the problem of saying certain things in private, right? Well, yes, it's in private. Yes, you have the freedom to say whatever you want, but you still shouldn't say those things, because by your want and your need to say those things says something about you as an individual already, and about the community in which you live in, because you are not an individual, you are also something that is a part of a bigger whole.
誰か困ってる？
But if it's something as much as, like fucking, I don't know, jacking off, sugar daddying, smoking, anything else that could be seen as immoral, drinking, or anything like that, I guess, right? That's fine. But you also have to remember that you do not exist in a vacuum. Your things and what you do not exist in a vacuum, and why you must be careful about that line of thought, like, oh, well, I'm alone, or oh, I'm doing it with people who consent to it, and the like. Sometimes it is okay to kink shame some people. I only say that I only say that particularly because there are some shit out there that is straight up harmful to people. And I ain't talking like getting tied up or anything. I ain't talking dungeon shit. I'm talking about some other things that can actually be genuinely harmful, even if done in isolation with consenting adults.
ウィンウィンの関係でしょ。
先ほども言った通りだ。人殺し以外の行為の是非について問うつもりはない。だが、それがお前の人殺しにつながっているのは事実。
Exactly. See what I say?
それはそうだね。堕胎が殺人じゃないなんて言うつもりはないよ。私はれっきとした
Well, abortion isn't murder.
人殺しだ。
僕はお前のことがよくわからない。こだわりがあるようでない。持論があるようで固執していない。
討論に勝ちたいわけじゃないから。思ってること話してるだけ。
後悔はしていないのか。
命を奪うという実感を得られるほど、私にはそれが生命だと感じられなかった。違和感と異物感。軽蔑した？ごめんね。でも本当、実際に感じてもいない悲しみを主張することはできない。
僕にはわからない。経験したことがない。
そうだね。私は別に監視さんに軽蔑されても許さないって言われてもよかったんだ。私は自分が悪くないって思ってないし。納得。
Then why are you relieved at the fact? If you say that it wouldn't have mattered if you were given the guilty verdict, then why were you relieved that, and why did your disposition change that since you were given the innocent verdict? A little bit of a contradiction there.
勝手に想像して哀れんさ。私は私の意思で合理的に判断しただけなのにな。
悪いが、ミルグラムはそういうものだ。
じゃあ私ミルグラム嫌い。
嫌いで結構。
何か大層な理由がなきゃ許せない？じゃあ逆に何か大層な理由があれば許せる？
そういう側面があるのは事実だろう。
やったことは同じなのに？
ミルグラムではなく、法律に照らしたとしても酌量減刑、いわゆる情状酌量は存在する。動機は重要なファクターだ。
まあそっか。でも法律に照らすとどちらにしろ私は殺人に問われないだろうけど。
ここはミルグラムだ。
はい。ミルグラム大好きだね、看守さん。
別にそんなこともない。
だろうね。辛そうだよ、看守さん。
僕が？
他に誰がいるの？
そんなことはない。
まあそういうことにしとくかね。終わった。はい、さっさと歌でも何でも抽出しちゃって。
まったく、こいつは。
やったことの答え合わせはできたでしょ。あとは何？理由でも動機でも作者の気持ちでも好き勝手に考えれば。
僕の仕事に散々ケチつけやがって。
怒った？
ちょっとな。
だって許すとか許さないとかおままごとだよ。そんなんじゃ私はあったかくならないもん。抱きしめてくれなきゃ無理。
言ってろ。僕はお前が何と言おうと。
What does she mean by embrace? Does she fucking want S to give her a hug?
やめないぞ、ミルグラムを。言ったはずだ。お前のことはどこまでも身勝手に判断してやると。
言ってたね。
好きなだけ文句を言ってろ、問題締め。あのさ、そういえば一個気になることがあってね。 なんだ言ってみろ。
私ってさ、本当に生きてる？
それはどういう。
わかんないならいいや。
言うの。
ほら、もう時間でしょ。
ああ、囚人番号2番ユノ。お前の罪を歌え。
All right, I want to, before we continue, I want to quickly go back to what I was saying about the idea of just because people are consenting with something does not mean that it's okay to do. I mean, like, plenty of people consent to doing, dog fighting, right? Plenty of people, whether it's legal or not, consent to, plenty of stuff that, even if it doesn't affect people, affects the world around them, with, like, nature and the like, right? I mean, go as far as to look at something as small as something like, two people engaging in an act where it reasonably puts each other in harm's way, right? Or puts other people in harm's way by degrees of separation, right? Because it puts the idea that it's okay to do in their head, right? Look at like Russian roulette, right? Or any other game along those lines. Or something, I don't fucking know. Trying to think of something. You can think of, I mean, again, in the case of Yuno, right? With her sugar daddying or anything like that. Like, there's plenty of acts sexually that just, you shouldn't really fucking do, even if it's consensual, right? I mean, like, there's plenty of things that comes to, like, like, between, like, relations. You choose to be with somebody because of something as arbitrary as race, and you fetishize that. That isn't okay, because that then implants the idea in both people's heads that even outside of that, they can just assume and judge people purely on that fetish, reducing somebody down to such a base level that they cannot control themselves and that has a history of bad things attached to it, or I don't know, fucking bestiality, or something like extreme. And I'm not talking like extreme BDSM. I'm talking like extreme as in actual true bodily harm, of getting, like limbs removed or the like. Like, that's, or you can go as big as something consenting, of people consenting within it. Look at capitalism. Plenty of people consent to being a part of that system, but that's still arbitrary. Not even arbitrarily. That's the wrong word to use there. It still genuinely hurts other people that aren't consenting to it. Even if it's in one place, even if it's in a singular nation where everyone consents to being in that active free market, the very act of that, of the extraction of wealth, requires other people. And even if it didn't, somehow doing it autonomously somehow does it to the point to where it will affect the nature around them. It will negatively affect other people or the lives of things around them, right? Like, there is a reasonable level of using the world around us, right? Of building things that us as humans need, because it can then support the nature and earth all together. But then there is also the idea that it can cause more harm than good as well, right? There's a difference between making a factory because that factory could possibly help spur on more growth in the environment around them because it's eco-friendly, while also being used as production for people to use, and also saying that this is a worker-owned factory, or putting a fucking Walmart in the middle of nowhere that does nothing but incentivize the idea that you must consume regularly consistently because you have no other way and must rely on something else. And also wage slave you're out to access that. There's a difference between reliance and... God damn, it is raining hard. Anyway, that's enough of my rambling. Moving on to Teardrop. And then we're going to do Yuno Haruka's second trial interrogation. How tall is she? Damn. Dude, we got fucking self-cessed Yuri in MILGRAM. Interesting. Let's go through that backwards to the front, because there's a lot of things I want to mention. Is that clearly here is supposed to be an allusion to rose-tinted glasses and how they're being shattered, and that you could even look at that as something like morality. Also, the lyrics about how don't measure me up to your morality is really interesting. Very, very interesting. It seems that almost she could be sad at the way that her life is, or even the lack. Maybe it's even she's sad not at what she has done. You know, again, one of those things of like, clearly there's a deeper meaning here than her saying, "Don't judge me by my by your morality," but then actively being sad of the thing that she did. But something more along the lines of she's sad that she doesn't have someone with her in bed at that point. Also, this right here seems to remind me a lot of like Morning After sort of thing. Also, what's with Japan and like the mask thing, right? I always see that of like girls pulling down the mask almost in like a provocative manner. I wonder how people like see that or why they use that. All of the girls here, I'm wondering what this means. Is this saying that she had an abortion 4 times and these are the potential 4 children she could have had? Or are these the 4 versions of herself that she has sugar babied herself out to be? God damn. Marco and haha al polo. Water polo. Clearly the idea, the illusion of working together. And now she's in this like nightie, right? Or like this teddy. I think that's what it's also called, a tidy or a nightie. Teddy. And now she's talking about nauseating, so creepy will he just disappear. And this is clearly like the outfit that she'll wear in the act or before the act. And this could be meaning that this is her feelings towards the pregnancy as a whole. And then also the pulling off of rose tinted glasses. That's pretty obvious. This here also seems to be a this is in reference to herself, like she is actively wrestling with herself and her emotions. Because there's the girl on top, and then there's the lustful side of her too, like the ego. Because the voices in her head, it could very well just be ego that she's thinking about. The lyrics here about poor girl are very interesting as well. And the envelope of money makes me think that she wasn't just a sugar baby. She might have been like a prostitute. Which is entirely possible and is fucking fine. I mean, my only issue with sex workers is the idea that they have to rely on that under capitalism as a form of, you know, selling their dignity and the like. But if you just want to have sex and you want to make money off of it, fuck it. That's your prerogative. That's what you want to do, right? You are offering a service that many people will willingly use. And it only becomes wrong if it puts in danger the person or the like, you know, or it's being used by like a cheater or something like that. Wait, this maybe I'm not looking deep enough, or maybe this is just one of those things where, given the fact of what she said in her voice drama, that it's not supposed to be that deep. It is just supposed to be what is presented on the surface, while also giving hints as to deeper reasoning and her feelings behind things. So, very, very interesting. Okay. Let's move on to Yuno and Haruka second trial interrogation. And I won't, by the way, I won't mute the music this time because I know that it's just the fucking covers in the background. The sheer difference between these two. Guys, do you think MILGRAM fan cult has seen my videos? Do you think the person that has done these videos and the translations have seen my videos? Do you like yourself? I think I like myself the way I am now. Okay. Do you want to get out of MILGRAM? I want to stay here forever. That is way different than what he was thinking about before. What's the origin of your name? It seems like she wanted a girl. She had already chosen this name. God damn, I gotta fucking hurry up before I lose all my shit. And me, oh wait, what was it? Next. Do you think you'll be forgiven this time too? I think so. The warden said that what I did wasn't wrong. That was not what was said. Oh, here comes a big one. Never mind. What is a father to you? He's not that interested in me, I guess. If you receive $7,000 that you must spend now, what would you use it for? I don't know. Warden, please do it for me. I'm giving it to you. Do you have any fond memories from your childhood? My childhood was fun because my mom was nice. That is interesting. That is interesting. Because clearly, with that in mind, and given the idea that he is giving us his interpretation of his mother, he still sees her as nice, and yet we see the truth of what happened in his second video. So I wonder what it is that caused it. Was it her absenteeness, whatever, like her absence in his life, or what? What do you think about Kotoko's attacks on the other prisoners? It's scary, but the warden thinks that these people were bad people, right? It is still very interesting that he thinks he's 17 but has the mind of a child, but at the same time doesn't. Yes, he has a childish disposition, but still in the way that he thinks is broader than what a child's would be. What was that? If you could turn back time, would you commit the same murder again? I don't know. I think I wouldn't have done it if I were in MILGRAM. Clearly because that means that he would be with Moo. Are there any and he wouldn't have needed to commit a crime for attention. Are there any prisoners you can't deal with? I'm fine with Amane-chan now. I'm not scared of small children anymore. Oh, but you were scared of small children before. What do you want from the warden? Please forgive Musan. What's the difference between yourself and the others? Everything. Every single thing is wrong. That was not the question. What do you do when you're bored? I always sleep. Me too. If you had one wish, what would you wish for? To be smart and strong. I want to become an interesting person. What's more important, someone's personality or appearance? I think it's personality. I think both are important because both make up a person. To judge someone only on personality feels like you are actively ignoring what is holding that personality as well. How many years do you want to live? I never thought about it, but I don't want to die. Which prisoner is most like you? No one, because they're all great people. That's an interesting answer, given... Would you forgive the other prisoners? Yes, I think everyone must have had their own circumstances. Again, not a very childlike way of putting it. A child might have said something similar, but they wouldn't have said it in such a way. Do you hate the person you killed? I wonder. I think I was envious of them. Probably for attention. Do you like yourself? To some extent. If I was reborn as myself again, I probably wouldn't hate it that much. Yeah, she has a new appearance, but then the last one didn't really show it that much. What's your opinion on the warden? It's like, thank you for your hard work. Well, do your best. Do you want to get out of MILGRAM? Well, I'm kind of tired of this. I think it's time to go back outside. What's the origin of your name? It means gentle, honest. Well, she is honest. Not too much gentle, though. But honestly, that's the most fun when it comes to names, right? You have the opportunity to have someone's name mean something to reflect their personality or be symbolic. If you choose something like just bland because it's easy or something like that instead of going all the way, that shows you're not really willing to commit to it. Unless, I guess if you just don't fucking want to, but I don't know. You can always do something more with naming characters and media. Do you think you'll be forgiven this time too? Don't you think that asking us is kind of lame? The one who decides is the warden after all. What is a father to you? We already talked about my family structure, didn't we? I already told you that I don't have a father. If you receive $7,000 that you must spend right now, what do you do? I'd eat a good dinner / lunch with my family, then give the rest to my friends. Do you have any fun memories from your childhood? I think it was always fun. Perhaps that's normal. My childhood was something. It was fun, and then it wasn't. And then it sucked. And then it was kind of fun again. And then I was an adult. What do you think about Kodako's attacks on the other person? Isn't it just stupid? Even if you tackle the problem right in front of you with violence, it won't change anything in the world. That is just not true, and that is just something that you would give to cope with yourself, that maybe you have the right opinion because, oh, you're contrarian, despite the fact that we are physical, therefore doing physical action is a very easy to come to idea and response. It's not like we are ethereal. If you could turn back time, would you commit the same crime again? I'd make sure that I don't have to commit it. That's all. Are there any prisoners you can't deal with? I wonder who'd that be. I can't stand seeing Haruka and Muchan, I guess. What do you want from the warden? Something like, stop trying to justify everything I did with reasons you came up with. Well, then say it yourself of what you did. Like, you said you're murdered. You said you're murder / crime. Then why don't you just fucking say why you did it? Well, actually, she did. She said because of... She didn't be too straightforward with it, at least from how the translation said it. Ugh, stop assuming things about me, she says, not giving the full answers to her... to the questions of why she did it. What's the difference between yourself and others? I might be a little too realistic. Maybe. What do you do when you're bored? Raised leg abs. If you had one wish, what would you wish for? Nothing really. As long as my friends and relatives are happy, I'm fine. What's more important, someone's personality or appearance? This probably isn't the answer you wanted, but I think I'd rather go with a moderate amount of both. If you have too much or too little of either, you'll turn out weird. Yeah, I think if you need to have both balanced, right? It's kind of like putting too much water in a cup that isn't big enough, or not enough water in a cup that's not small enough. How many years do you want to live? About 40 years would be just right, I think. 40. Which person was most like you? The only option is Kazue. Because of the idea that they have done, have had strong relations with people. Well, Mahiru's also like that. Would you forgive the other prisoners? It's not something you should decide yourself, right? Isn't that what the law is for? Yeah, but what makes up the law? People. It's not a nebulous, void thing. especially if you live in a community or you live amongst society. It shouldn't be judged by a small group of people. It should be judged by the people of that community and of that society to judge and forgive and or give guilty verdict. Did you hate the person you killed? It was too much of a pain for me to think about anything. Okay. Wow. Wow. That was really good. I really enjoyed that one. A lot of hard-hitting questions, and I love having those hard-hitting questions and thinking about that stuff. Again, I promise I'm not a very Puritan person. Like, I am the most fucking sex-positive, open, say fucking anything sort of guy out there. But, there's always nuance to that. Just because you allow a lot of things does not mean that you are tolerant of everything. Intolerance of intolerance, that sort of thing, right? But yeah, that was really, really good. Whew. I don't really have anything else to say other than thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like down below. And while you're down there, check out the links in the description for all that other stuff. Yes, I know that I didn't, do the funny thing of like pointing to where the Patreons were, but you saw the scroll anyway, so it's fine. I will make sure that all of the names are there properly. If you want to pay, you can. There's Patreon, there's memberships. You get listed for both. You get the benefits of both, depending on which one you go. You do not have to do both. You have to do one or the other. If you want to, if you become a member, you get the Patreon rewards too. If you're a Patreon, you get the rewards too. So yeah, thank you. But as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Thank you to the members of the Ultimate Fleet, aka the members and patrons. Saline, Peachy Bun, Sleepy Chibi, Lola Bartzal, Finch R, Emanali, Belle, Lily McMillan, Henri, Shira, Angel313, Andrew Ortega, Ariana Henry, Yoan, Test, Helen, Miles Morales, Buklarka Bagi, Moonze W, On You, Lind the Vocaloid Nerd ARG, Distar, AT, Yui Azumi, Leah, Chocobo / Chris, Annie, Shen Guang, #1 Ash Bradley fan, Michaela Malone, Gondala, Elin Levens, Mealy, Sen Amon Klein CEO, Ori, Questionable Decisions, Chizuru, Rumi1, Shali CC, Purest Failure, and Sai Lan. And a very special thank you to the paid tiers, starting with Fresh Pirates, Yui Izumi, Shelly, and Angel313. And now for the crewmates. Saline. If you wish to support me, you can do so by becoming a member through the links in the description down below. In front of you, you are also seeing the full description of the benefits as well. You do not have to do both. You can do one or the other. You get everything from both YouTube memberships and Patreon. Thank you.